Hello everyone, this is Vinita Kumar. You're watching me on India Today. So sometimes some people make movies just for the sheer joy of making cinema. People in the show today are known for that, are known for telling stories, simple stories, easy stories that live with you. Please welcome the team of Superboys of Maligaon. Welcome.
Thank you.
As I was saying, especially to the makers, Reema, Zoya, and Ritesh, the film, the Superboys of Malika, I watched it. I also found this very simple, easy, and at the same time very nuanced and layered. You have to tell me how joyous was this process of making a film about filmmaking. And because it belongs to you guys, it belongs to artists, it belongs to the makers. So how joyous was the process?
Well, I mean, I have to give some of the credit to Nasir, I think, because he really, really inspired me. Yeah. When we started talking to him and we started, doing research and to the script, what I realized was that this man is doing something, making a film with no agenda, simply for the love of making films. Yeah. And on a level, I think it made me connect to why I wanted to make films in the first place. Yeah. So, when you get inspired like that, then it's quite easy to go out and do something like this. Right. And I had a wonderful cast, crew, and partners. So
yeah, for you, Zoya and Ritesh.
Me, I love movies about movies. My first film was about the industry and the making of people in the industry, actually. So I absolutely love it because I love this place. I love the process, and I find there's a magic in it. Yeah. People say it's the most pedestrian art form because it's a mixture of everything and it's a hybrid. But there is magic in it. And so for me, telling stories like this fact that it's a true story, it's such an important story. It also immortalized his friend, which cinema tends to do. I find it very moving.
Yeah. Ritesh, does it make backing a movie as a producer easier for you? When a film is like this?
I think like what Zoya Reema said, like with any story, right? There's you have to somewhere connect with it emotionally, you relate to it. And I think basing it on a person like Nasir, it happened to be that he had this love of filmmaking, but I think it's beyond that. If you see his journey and you've seen the film, it's about this group of friends who had a dream and they had no resources to even think about this dream coming true, and they go and achieve that.
Right.
So it tells you a lot about those people, and they achieve this all in this small town. Right. So I think it's very inspiring, and I think we all, when we go to a cinema, you're sitting under this in a dark room, and you can come out feeling inspired and feeling a collective emotion which everybody shares at that end of that screening. So I think that is a universal feeling, and which came out, with the story. So I think backing it was the easiest thing to do because there was an instant identification with it, and you could relate to it.
Right. Right. Adarsh, coming to you, fabulous job.
Thank you.
Another, I think, feather in your cap, I would say. Tell me this, when you do a lot of cinema which kind of stays somewhere in between, it's not entirely commercial, it's not entirely, the artistic cinema. Do you enjoy being in that space where, where you can bring your nuance as a pure artist to it, but also kind of make sure that, this looks like a very commercial film as well?
I don't think I think about films like in that sense. I don't think I can bracket them as commercial or independent or art. Like for me, if I can be part of a great story who has a great director and good producers, that's it. It's fairly simple. Yeah. If it's something that I either haven't done or that I can relate to a lot or I've inspired to do at some point, it could be any of these reasons.
Right.
Yeah.
Vineet, congratulations on Chhaava. I think we've got the newest Kavi in Bollywood. Yeah.
Thank you.
What's going on in your mind? In what place are you? Are you happy? Are you so ecstatic? Are you peaceful? What's going on there?
Honestly, मुझे समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है.
Yeah.
So overwhelmed. Never experienced something like this ever in my life.
Yeah.
थोड़ा इमोशनल हो जाता हूँ जब भी वक्त मिलता है और इंस्टा पे या ट्विटर पे जाके जब कमेंट्स पढ़ रहा हूँ तो बहुत सारे कमेंट्स ऐसे हैं कि दे आर सेइंग कि विनीत भाई दिस इज़ पर्सनल फॉर अस.
Oh yes.
तो मुझे बहुत एक बड़ा फेज़ ऐसा था, ऐसा लगता था मैं काम तो कर रहा हूँ, मेरा काम कहीं पहुँच नहीं रहा है, मुझे लगता था लोग देख नहीं रहे हैं. लेकिन इतने लोग मुझ में उम्मीद लगाए बैठे थे, ये मुझे खुद नहीं पता था।
Right.
तो ये मुझे बहुत इमोशनल कर देता है जब ऐसे कमेंट्स पढ़ रहा हूँ, दे आर पीपल, दे आर वॉचिंग। तो ये बहुत अलग सा है।
Yeah.
पता नहीं, थोड़ा जब सेटल होऊंगा तो चीज़ें समझेंगी।
Yeah.
एंड बहुत खुश हूँ कि
Yeah.
2 हफ्ते के बाद सुपरवाइजर मालेगांव आ रही है। तो मैं हर किसी से ये कहना चाहूँगा, मतलब लिटरली मैं अपील कर रहा हूँ सभी कैमरे में कि अगर आपको कवि कलश पसंद आया है तो ये सुपर बॉयज़ ऑफ मालेगांव जाके ज़रूर देखिए 28 फरवरी को थिएटर में। यहाँ बहुत खूबसूरत एक फिल्म है, आपको पसंद आएगा पक्का।
Right, right. You know, your character, you are a writer in the film, struggling writer. And you've been extremely vocal about your journey also in the industry. Do you take a part of yourself, your own self into the character when you're playing something like this in Super Boys of Maligaon?
आता ही है, एक्टर का एक्सपीरियंस बैंक जितना ज़्यादा होगा
Right.
उतनी आसानी होती है किरदारों को जीने में। तो मुक्काबाज लिखी थी तो वो एक अनुभव था। खाली समय में थोड़ा लिखता हूँ, तो वो कहीं ना कहीं मुझे हेल्प करता है। असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर था 6-7 फिल्मों में, तो बिहाइंड द कैमरा क्या चलता है प्रोफेशनली वो पता था। लेकिन ये तो बहुत ही कमाल का, मतलब पर्दे पे जो किया है बिहाइंड द कैमरा, ये तो बहुत ही कमाल का है कि साइकिल चल रही है,
Right.
वो हमारी ट्रॉली है। मतलब ऐसे ऐसे टूल बनाए हैं कि विजुअल देख के कमाल लगता है।
Right.
तो वो जो रीमा ने निकाल के लाया है हमें बहुत मज़ा आया।
Right.
तो वो पर्सनल लाइफ के एक्सपीरियंसेस काम आते हैं।
Right.
बाकी द रियल लाइट इज द स्क्रिप्ट एंड लिसन योर डायरेक्टर।
Right, right. Rima, Zoya, you know, there's this very tiny scene in the film. It's a shot of Vineet when he says that, you know, I'm going to Mumbai. And it just goes, and there's almost like a blur scene where he goes
It's an out of focus shot.
away. Yeah, it's an out of focus shot. And there's like he's going from darkness to light. You know, there's light at the end of the street. And I found it really appealing because, you know, I thought that, I mean, I don't know this character's future, whether the character, he's going to make it big in Mumbai or not, you know, but at least there's this sense, there's this positivity, there's this hope that, you know, he's going from darkness to light. You know, at least he's doing something. Did you think it that way, A? And B, when you're making a film like that, which is already so emotional and inspirational, you have the story, what kind of nuances you add to it to make it this appealing to the audience?
Well, I mean, to answer the first part of your question, you know, things sometimes happen. You know, it's a mistake, but then you find something very beautiful in a mistake. So actually, it was a night shoot, and you know, I was just watching something, and the focus puller wasn't at camera.
Wow.
So I saw the out of focus. So I was like, Swapnil, I'm loving this. And as it happened, you know, like we have 3 time periods in the film. So we have 1998, then we have 2004, and then I think we have 2009 or 10.
Right.
So there are 3 phases, and this happened to be the last shot of 1998.
Yes.
So it just so turned out that because we loved it, we just sort of used it as a format for all the transitions into the next time zone. So if you see the end of 2004 has a very similar out of focus shot. In fact, that was even crazier because we were making it out of focus and it started raining. I mean, we were using a rig. And the camera crew covered it with the plastic. And then I had the same feeling I had in the night. Arey, this is beautiful. So the DP, of course, was like, are you sure? Because out of focus is one thing. Shooting through a plastic is another thing. But eventually, you know, it had a feel. You know, it kind of, for us, it was closing one chapter of the film. Plus, it was kind of giving you a bit of intrigue and hope into the next.
Right.
So, yeah, that's how we kind of used it.
Right.
Again, these are things, I mean, you're asking me, so I'm speaking about it, but it's not really for an audience to pick up. It's about a sense of something.
Yeah, but, you know, it does add to the beauty of the whole narrative.
Yeah, it also gives you a sense. I think, you know, you've seen the friends, you've seen them be together and then they go apart. And this sort of, there was something quite beautiful and despondent about it that I really liked. So. And I thank Swapnil Sonavle, my DP, for going along with it. Because a lot of DPs would be like, no, because they want a technically perfect shot. You know?
Yeah. So yeah, coming to, you know, what I like about your style of filmmaking is that, I mean, I don't know if I haven't been able to discover a formula there, you know, and also there's no rush at your end to come up with a story really soon because, you know, this worked or that worked, you know. Tell me this, are you now currently fascinated with underdog stories?
No. I think I've realized perpetually fascinated with coming of age stories. But they could be underdog, they could be privileged, they could, at some stage they have to come of age. I think that's my fascination. So no, I don't think I'm, and I think my formula is, I make what I like.
Of course.
And I make what I want to watch. I think that's the only formula to go by because nobody really knows what's going to work.
Yeah.
So, as my dad keeps telling me, at least this way you're guaranteed one audience in the theatre yourself. So just at least do that.
So, you know, you guys have included Javed Akhtar in the story somewhere, somehow. You know, you have managed to put that.
No, we
inside
didn't. It was Nasir actually.
Yeah.
Nasir is a huge Salim Javed
Of course,
fan.
yeah.
And as the first time I met him, he told me, I introduced myself to him and he said, I know who you are because I've ripped off all your father's work.
Right.
So, yeah, so Nasir actually, it was very organic because it was part of his story.
Right, you know, there's one thing when something like this becomes a part of a documentary or a niche film, you know, but it's another whole ball game altogether when you're making a full-fledged theatrical experience with it. How was Javed Saab's, reaction to it, that you wanted to bring into this and you did not want to remove that part altogether? You know, something, what kind of conversation you had
He
with
just
it?
loved the story. He'd met Nasir before. He finds it really charming. And I think there's something quite magical that Nasir started his journey with Sholay. And it's come a full circle where now he's like,
Life story.
yeah, with his life story, where finally he was so removed from the system and he didn't think he could come to Mumbai or break in. So he made what he made there.
Right.
And today the mainstream, and it's
we're making a film on him.
and the writers of Sholay's kids are making his film into the mainstream. It's like a full circle for him.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's quite.
You know, so yeah, before I move to others, there's just one thing I wanted to ask you. You know, when you made Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara or Dil Dhadakne Do, there was this section of people who said that, you know, I mean, this looks very unrelatable because Ameeron ki film banati hai, you know. And then now when you make a film like Gully Boy or when you are making Super Boys of Malegaon, do you think that a section of people, the same section, would now stand up and say ki you are romanticizing poverty? What's wrong with Zoya? You know,
I mean, they'll keep saying anything, but I mean, the one thing I know is that from everything I made, and I made all kinds of, I mean, Luck by Chance was different,
Absolutely.
Love Stories is different. I've made very, very different things, but the only thing that people keep telling me to remake after abusing me is Dead and Empty. So I'm very confused. Do you want privilege? You don't want privilege. You give me a straight answer. I'm very confused. You know, just like the film or not. Now, why do you care so much about anything else?
Right, right. Ritesh, you know, as a producer, filmmaker, how do you filter that noise when it comes to gauging the right kind of response from the audience? Because, you know, sometimes people say that box office is the real benchmark of success. Sometimes people say that, let's see what people are talking about it on social media. You know, as a producer, where do you think to draw the line and gauge the right kind of reaction?
I mean, you know, see, I think it depends. Like if you're bringing a movie to cinemas and to theaters, then obviously it's not about the box office number.
Right.
It's about, like, see, every movie is not aiming to do 5,000 screens. Like a movie like this, which is with Superboys, you're going with a certain limited screens. A movie like Superboy, I mean, like Malegaon, right? When we did, with Madgaon Express, that had a different kind of a release strategy. Fukre has a different, Dawn has a different, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, all of them. So based on that, what we are looking at, okay, we wanted to see, okay, this is catering, because you have to know your core audience. You can't shy away from that. You can't say that I've made every movie for everybody.
Right.
You want to know that this is my core audience I'm talking to and this is my target audience. So if you're targeting that and those are the numbers which are coming in, maybe the number is 20 crores. It's great because it's actually a success. Every movie doesn't have to do 200 crores.
Right.
So I think, and what social media is that you get some kind of feedback to knowing, like when she'll talk about Zindagi Na Milegi, I mean, yeah, it is confusing to know that you're talking about being privileged, but every single, you go and look at that. Today, if you were to release Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, we all know what it would do. You know, but it's aspirational. Each of those characters, their conflicts, how they develop, it's very relatable. It just happens to be in a different way. But I think everybody who must have seen the movie in some way have related to either one of those three characters.
Right.
So I think it, and that's why it did what it has done, and that is why till today it's talked about.
Right.
So I don't think that matters. But yeah, with social media, you do get some kind of feedback as a filmmaker to knowing about what people, how they've reacted to your film and responded to it.
Right. Right.
But I don't think box office numbers should be the
They
takeaway
always-
for that.
No, they are a success. They are a barometer of success, but it's not the only success.
Right.
So I mean, like, whether you have a 12th fail or a Lapata Ladies or a All We Imagine as Light, I mean, they are very big success stories, and they're as successful as a Pushpa or a Jawan in a very different way.
Right.
So it can't be. There's no one formula for this is it.
Right.
Of course, I mean, making money at the box office is success. Yes, but there's other things also.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Vineet and Shashank and Adarsh, since you're the actors, and I think this would be more suitable from actors to answer this. That as artists, when you see yourself on screen, when you are done with the work and you go back and see yourself on the screen, on the big screen, do you think that, or do you kind of criticize self? Is there sense of self-criticism, and how do you deal with that? Like, is there a defense mechanism as well in the place,
Let's start from the
or
left.
are you all satisfied with
No,
what
please,
you've
he'll
done?
start.
He's the
Of course,
correct
of course.
Yeah. Ever satisfied.
Are we satisfied?
Yeah, it's. I mean, honestly, it's painful because you can't get to experience.
Sorry.
No worries. You can't.
Switching it off.
The first few times that you watch a film, at least for me as an actor, I can't see it as a film. You know what I mean? The first 2-3 times at least, because you're watching it for the performances, your brain is very active, you're thinking of permutations and combinations of, oh shit, should I have done this? And you're calculating in your mind and the film's already gone ahead and you're still lost in that scene.
Yeah.
It's a very strange thing to do. So for me, it takes like maybe 2-3 times to actually consume the film as a whole.
Yeah,
But when you get to do that, it's beautiful.
yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
You, Vineet. Do you go back to watching what you have done, though?
या मैं उसको ऐसे लेता हूँ कि जैसे एक प्लेयर होता है, सपोज सचिन तेंदुलकर जैसा महान प्लेयर, जब उनसे कोई मिस्टेक होती है किसी शॉट में, तो अगेन एंड अगेन वो रीवॉच करते हैं. रीवॉच इसलिए करते हैं कि मैं चूक कहाँ रहा हूँ, और जब आपको वो चीज़ समझ आ जाती है तो आप उसे फिक्स करते हो. तो मैं अपनी फिल्म में कई बार देखता हूँ कि मैं कहाँ और मुझसे ऐसी चीज़ें हुई हैं जहाँ मैं थोड़े रंग भर सकता था, लेकिन मैं उस समय शायद इतना तैयार नहीं था एज एन एक्टर, तो उसको मैं कैसे अपने ऊपर काम करूँ. तो मैं ऐसे उसको विज़िट करता हूँ और फिर वापस आता हूँ. तो ये बराबर चलता रहता है.
Yeah, yeah. Shashank, what is your process like?
You asked if you're critical. Of course, you're critical. You want to be better at what you do. So you watch it objectively a couple of times. Try to, separate yourself from the experience of making the film because वो अक्सर रास्ते में आ जाता है. So you put this aside, that experience, and you objectively look at your work a few times, and then it's also important not to saturate yourself with it. For me particularly, because I'll hopefully try to find what to make better and not get trapped in the idea of myself and not take then myself too seriously also, and just so I think it works best for me, and that's what has worked so far.
Yeah, yeah. So congratulations on that note again, all of you.
Thank
I think
you.
this is one film that is so simple that you can just watch it and just love it and fall in love with it all over again. Every time
Thank
you
you.
watch it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So congratulations on that.
Thank
and all
you.
the best.